This is NH44. It cuts through some of the finest forests in central India. Before you imagine it as yet another monstrous, deathly road, hit pause. This one is different. Above, trucks and cars zip at first world country speeds. And below, wild animals walk, run, cavort, and even hunt. This is a story of what is possible, a story of our past, present, and a hopeful future. This is your land, my land. This is what it looks like. And these are the animals that live here. It is what scientists call a mega-diverse country. It is diverse not only in flora and fauna, but also people. $1.3 billion and more of us share this land with the wild creatures and the ecosystems that support this rich biodiversity. And this land is the source of our clean air, clean water, joy and happiness, our natural capital.
Natural capital is a sum total of all ecosystem like forest, wildlife, geology, soil, air and everything, all biodiversity, that is all included in the natural capital. Natural capital provides a lot of ecosystem services. The most obvious product of natural assets is air and water, which are required for survival of humankind and wildlife as well.
And what have we done to our natural capital? In 75 years, we have gone from a bullock cart country to motoring across expressways faster and faster, thundering across its plains and forests, and taken to the skies. Thousands of kilometers of transmission lines transporting the fossil-fueled energy required to power our transition from third world to first world status. And this is how this expansion looks when mapped. Clearly, we have swarmed our forests with linear infrastructure, turning our forests into tiny islands of heaven, isolated, fragmented. It's like taking a whole puzzle and dismantling it, and the results are there for us to see. But why do animals need to cross roads and railway tracks? We asked some 7-year-olds, why did the deer cross the road?
Because its family was on the other side.
To be safe from the tigers.
Because he wanted to get away from the lion.
Why did the tiger cross the road?
Tiger crossed the road because he wanted to go home.
To catch the deer.
Why did the frog cross the road?
Because he thought that an animal would eat him and the other side is safer. Because it wanted to go to the lake to eat bugs. He wanted to go to the other side to sleep on the bed because he was really sleepy.
Why did the snake cross the road?
Because it wanted to go to the other side.
There's a mongoose chasing it and it did not want to get eaten.
Why did the elephants cross the railway track?
Maybe they want to go somewhere and they saw a thing that or a fruit that they want to eat.
They might want to go there for no reason. They might just might taking an exercise walk.
In short, just like people, animals too move and need space. And linear infrastructure can have impacts far more insidious than just habitat degradation or animal deaths. To understand the effect of roads on habitats and animals, wildlife biologists collect data, lots of it. And their insights reveal this: wider roads, higher traffic volume and higher speed lead to higher deaths of animals. But that's up to a certain point, and then deaths fall off. Any guesses why? Because it becomes impossible for them to cross the road or railway track. This is the barrier effect, restricting movement and boxing animals in their small forest patches.
One of our collar tigers traveled 3,000 kilometers in a human-dominated landscapes to establish its territory. But the journey of that tiger was stopped because of the road. The tiger tried to cross that road for 2 days, but was not able to cross that particular road. So linear infrastructure like roads, highways, power lines, canals, pipelines influence the normal, regular movement of these dispersing individuals across the landscape.
For a moment, imagine yourself boxed in, isolated in your house or apartment in COVID recently. Today, with each linear intrusion, animals are becoming imprisoned in their ever-shrinking habitats. For example, tigers in Western Rajaji have become isolated. And isolation can lead to genetic inbreeding and slow die-off of populations. Compared to roads, power lines may seem innocuous and not viewed as direct barriers. They too can have great impacts: electrocutions, collisions, and for some birds, it is proving deadly. The great Indian bustard is a slow breeder. It's on the verge of extinction. Its prime habitat, the grasslands in Thar, run over by power lines, and many have died having collided with the power lines. To make matters more complex, the effects and impacts of linear infrastructure is varied across different animals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. What is clear is that over the long term, linear infrastructure can irreparably damage ecosystems. So, how can we solve this problem? Well, we again turn to some 7-year-olds as to what they thought of it.
We should
make the roads where they not in the jungle, so that we don't hurt any animals. Because I think that's cruelty.
So we should not build roads where animals live because it's dangerous for them. We should not build roads in their home.
We don't make the road in between of the forest. We just go this way and then this way and then this way and then go. I'm sure that wild animals don't like roads being built through their homes.
There you have it. Quite simple. Planners and decision makers, please take note. Leave the forests alone. While ideal, our adult world reality, politics, development needs, growth, financial costs, changes the picture. The children also had other ideas.
Well, maybe we can make a separate grassy bridge for them to climb over to get to the other side. I think what we can do is like we can make like a flyover where the road or the railway track has to be. We can make it like a little higher so the animals can go underneath and the vehicle or the train can go above.
The word for these solutions: mitigation measures. Avoid, reduce, or remedy adverse impacts of linear infrastructure. And they need to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Warning signs, animal detection systems, speed breakers, and speed control are all mitigation measures, but not adequate. In India, this highway, the NH44, earlier known as NH7, is one such highway that addresses mitigation effectively, but only after many battles were fought. Finally, when mitigation measures were mandated, Wildlife Institute of India was given the job to suggest and design the mitigation measures for this highway. Dr. Bilal has led this effort.
This is very old pugmark. This is a pugmark which we got during the rainy season. But yes, it's very difficult to get out these signs during the summer season because of the substratum. But it's very easy to get the pugmarks of the tigers during rainy season. There are 9 structures on Maharashtra side and there are 5 structures on MP side. The largest one is around 1400 meters and the smallest one is around 50 meters. This has given us an opportunity to monitor the different sizes of the underpasses and to see how these underpasses are effective for the movement of the wildlife across the landscape.
So, are the mitigation measures smart? Here are the results.
So in spite of the success of these underpasses, one of our tigers died a couple of months before on this particular highway, and that tiger was actually using 4 underpasses. So we have more than 200 crossings of that particular animal. But you know that animals have their own personalities. On one day, this particular animal decided that I will go on the road and was hit. Mitigation measures are not going to reduce the impact totally. So when we talk about the linear infrastructure in terms of inside the forests, as per the policies of the government, we have to avoid the forests in terms of the new infrastructure.
By all indications, the mitigation measures are working. Though the mitigation measures added to the costs of building the highway, it's a small price to pay to ensure the survival of our wildlife and ecosystems. As experts point out, we should not build new infrastructure in forest areas. However, there are cases where we need to upgrade existing infrastructure already passing through a forest. And there are no alternatives. The Delhi-Dehradun highway passing through Rajaji Tiger Reserve is an example. 24/7 heavy traffic has already led to break in landscape connectivity between Rajaji Tiger Reserve and Shivalik Forest Division.
National Highway Authority of India involved Wildlife Institute of India from the beginning to suggest mitigation measures on this particular highway. As a part of the mitigation measures, this 4-kilometer long bridge is being constructed to maintain connectivity of the Rajaji Tiger Reserve with the rest of the forest areas in the landscape.
Upgradation of this highway presents an opportunity. This upgradation is leading to loss of many precious trees, but it is likely to restore landscape connectivity for animals to move between Rajaji Tiger Reserve and the forests further east. Learning from these experiences in Maharashtra, the new Samruddhi Expressway from Nagpur to Mumbai involved the Wildlife Institute of India to suggest wildlife mitigation measures at conceptualization of the project.
When we actually started preparing detailed project report and engineering design, we got wildlife experts on board, and whatever they suggested, like underpasses and overpasses, or even how the flora on either side should be developed, that was factored into it.
Even though this highway does not pass through or is in any eco-sensitive zone of a protected area, an extensive research effort helped identify wildlife focus areas. This enabled scientists to recommend wildlife mitigation structures. This green highway exemplifies that where there's a will, there's a way. Surely, our economy, soon to touch $5 trillion, can be planned so that our linear infrastructure development ensures that our priceless natural capital endures long after you and I are gone, bridging futures.